We all need to brace ourselves because this is a time travel episode. As such things go, this isn't the worst I've seen, mostly because our main cast carries it, especially Alex Desert as Julio. You'll see what I mean. But it seems like everybody had to do one, and the sheer number of them got tiring. We open on the courthouse where a judge has just overturned Nicholas Pike's conviction for murdering Jay Allen on a technicality. He's walking away free.
Listen to them. They belong to you.
How does it feel to be a free man?
My client has no statement today. He's been through an ordeal and he needs rest.
Yeah, the poor little thing looks exhausted.
However, as his attorney, I'd like to say that the judge's decision today only confirms what we've been saying all along.
And that is?
That Mr. Pike is an innocent victim, framed for a crime he didn't commit.
Then who did kill Officer Jay Allen?
The real criminal here is the psychopath who calls himself the Flash. He murdered Jay Allen and then tried to pin it on my client.
We won't see any of it until later, but it's not hard to conclude that he pays her in, personal attention. Beyond that, she's basically a thrill junkie who's found an unlimited supply.
Barry Allen, brother of the murder victim. What do you think of the judge's decision?
No comment.
And what about his lawyer's assertion that your brother was killed by the Flash?
No comment.
Excuse me.
Has anyone ever told you that you have the sensitivity of a rock?
Yeah, my mother.
I believe him. Pike intends to go on a rampage in the city, but first he wants to get even with the Flash.
Uncle Barry, is it true? Did the Flash really kill my dad?
No, Sean, he didn't.
Then why did they let Pike go?
Sometimes the law makes mistakes.
But if Pike is guilty and they let him go free, then what's the use of arresting criminals in the first place?
Come on, Sean. That's your mom. Time to go.
Which is to say, he doesn't have a good answer at the moment. He's rethinking a lot of things. While he's having a quiet meal at an outdoor restaurant, guess who walks in and can't leave it alone?
Ellen? Excuse me, can we get some more water here? You mind if I sit down?
Yes? I have nothing to say to you, Pike.
I think it's time that the two of us made peace. What do you say? You know, I like the city. And I am going to enjoy destroying it.
He says, I just proved I can get away with anything. I got away with killing your brother. I can do what I want.
You should have heard him beg for his life. Oh, it was pathetic. But then I guess cowardice is a family trait.
Get up, Pike! Get up! Leave him alone. You think just because you're a cop you can assault my client in public?
Garfield understands his reasons, but the crooked lawyer is right, unfortunately. It gets him a 30-day suspension. That's the final straw.
I've had it. I'm through with it.
Barry, calm
I'm
down.
sick of the whole business, all right? I want to live a normal life without life and death emergencies happening every time I turn around.
But you can't just leave town. I mean, where would you go?
I don't know. I travel around. Who knows, if I find someplace I like, maybe I won't come back at all.
In Australia, they call it walkabout. You start walking and keep walking until you find yourself. Honestly, after the load of caca de toro that just dumped on him, it's not a bad idea.
The man who murdered my brother has been set free. The system I have believed in my entire life has blown up in my face, and now someone is actually accusing me of murdering Jay. You don't understand. You can't understand.
Give her credit for trying. Julio will look after Earl. He has to stop by the station real quick and pick up a few things, and then he's gone.
You really are leaving?
Car's all packed.
Things will be different in a couple of weeks. You wait and see.
Murphy! Fellas! Visit all units at the dam. Some nutcase is threatening to blow it up and flood the city. Come on!
Oh, boy. Where did they find these lint heads, man?
Barry, take it easy.
See you later, Barry.
For crying out loud. I can't even get out of the city.
Or not. As I've said before, he's a genuine hero. When there's a need, he has an irresistible drive to fill it. The Flash is at the dam, but it's a setup. Pike has a new secret weapon. He has a heat-seeking missile. I think it's supposed to be a Soviet R-73, especially since it has the remote guidance system as well as the infrared lock-on, but don't hold me to that. Let's assume it is. That means it had a maximum speed of Mach 2.5, which should be walking speed for the Flash. But it's staying right with him. It can't resist that absurdly tight butt. Now here's the problem, it has a range of 25 miles. At Mach 2.5, that means that the Flash can keep going for 47 seconds, it'll run out of fuel. I don't see that being a problem for him.
This is getting boring.
How bad is it going to get? We'll find out when Barry Flash lands in the middle of a street.
Attention, attention. This is a reminder that all citizens with red passes should be off the streets by 11 o'clock. Only citizens with blue passes may still be out. Any citizens with red passes are subject to arrest.
He hasn't noticed the giant mural of Pike yet. A newspaper tells him he's in what used to be Central City. Now it's called Pike City, and the year is 2001. Some weird combination of his speed plus the explosion threw him 10 years into the future. The people who notice him are shying away from him. When a police vehicle pulls up, he somehow knows he should hide.
What the hell is this? We haven't done anything wrong. What's the matter with you?
You're under arrest for selling illegal contraband.
What's contraband? Dick! Oh, boy, now we're in big trouble. I told you 10 years ago, and us down the shop, how about a bowling alley? But no!
This
was
not
my idea! Oh, you're gonna blame it on me?
Yes, that's Murph and Bellows. One or the other of them is always coming up with a get-rich-quick scheme, even in these conditions. And we learned that little toy figures of the Flash are illegal. When these guys start beating up on Murph, Barry can't stand aside any longer.
Who are you? Where'd you get this suit?
I happen to like red.
It's obvious he's not the real Flash. He can't run fast, as he just discovered.
You're a funny guy, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, well, let's just see who you are, funny guy. Give me the scanner.
Scanning fingerprints. Subject identified as Barry Allen, former head of police forensics lab, missing for 10 years. Detained for questioning and informed Mayor Pike immediately.
Pike still has a thing for Barry after 10 years. He's an insecure little fella. By the way, there's an active resistance movement, and they appear to be quite effective. Barry is all turned around. He doesn't recognize the city anymore. Not much else to do but keep running.
Barry?
It's Julio.
Julio! Is that you?
Hey, man, cops are after me. All right, come on.
Julio drives a garbage truck now. He hides Barry in the back until the police go by, then he gives him a set of overalls to put over his suit. When Barry disappeared, Julio and Sabrina got married and moved into Barry's old place.
What if the police come here looking for him, Julio? They'll arrest us, too.
The guy's my friend. What do you want me to do? Kick him out on the streets?
What kind of friend disappears for 10 years and never even bothers to write or call? Great. Now the baby's awake.
You have a baby? Congratulations, boy or girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twins.
Yeah, the one is this great big hunk of perfection, and the other's... Oh, he said one of them was a girl. Danny DeVito probably wouldn't appreciate me finishing that joke.
Where'd you disappear to all this time?
Boy, it's a long story.
Does it have anything to do with that red suit?
I guess I owe you an explanation.
Well, if it makes it any easier, I figured out you were the Flash a long time ago.
I've said all along that Barry should just come out and tell him. Nobody in the world has earned his trust like Julio has, not even Tina. He and Tina are best friends. He and Julio are brothers.
But what has happened to this city? I mean, how did Pike become the mayor?
You really don't know?
No.
Well, after the Flash disappeared, Pike took over the city's criminal organizations, slowly corrupted the police department. All the honest cops quit or were fired. Crime got out of control. Hard times hit like never before. Next thing you know, he buys himself an election, and he's in the mayor's office.
When the Black Rose gang got away from Murph and Bellows, Barry asked if he had to do everything. I guess he has his answer.
Where'd all these factories come from?
Oh, this is Pike's revitalization plan. You see, this is supposed to create jobs. Instead, it gave us pollution and slums.
Well, what about the people? Where are they, man? Why do you put up with this?
Look, the rich don't complain. They never had it so good. And who's going to listen to the poor? Anybody stands up to Pike, they end up in the police rehabilitation center.
The what?
It's in the old Star Labs building. They've got this machine that fries your brain, gives you an electronic lobotomy, and turns you into a vegetable.
Barry's parents are fine. They left town before all this started because Henry could see it coming.
And Sean and Eve?
Last I heard, Sean was with the Liberation Underground, and the cops were looking for him.
Liberation Underground?
Yeah, they're like a resistance movement. They cause as much trouble as they can. Nobody knows who they are or where they hide out.
The good news is nobody includes Pike and his goons. Sean is, 17 now? And he's in the trenches fighting the corruption and hatred. Looks like he was listening to Uncle Barry.
Why do you stay?
I guess because this is my city, and I like to hope it'll get better. All we need is somebody like the Flash to help us get started.
Oh, Julio, I can't help anybody. I'm not the Flash anymore. I've lost it.
I expect a lot of people to ask Julio, why aren't you with the Liberation Underground if you care so much? I won't be one of them. If he had been in hiding with them, Barry would be in jail right now. Julio is looking out for his family the best way he can and trying to help restore a little justice in his own small ways. And besides, he told you he couldn't find him. Barry needs to talk to Tina and find out what's happened to him.
After the police took over Star Labs a couple of years ago, Tina started up this place. I'll wait out here.
Right.
The guy with the glasses is Pike's right-hand man, Kelso. I think he's the one who likes to watch when Pike and Monica do their lawyering.
Now make sure she takes those pills 3 times a day, and I'll see you next week.
Tina?
I don't know what you're doing here, but I want you to get out right now.
Why? What have I done?
What have you done? Take a look around. Have you seen this city?
I didn't do that. Pike did.
Yes, and you just walked away and let him.
If you just listened to me, I'd explain to you.
I don't want to listen to you, and I don't want to see you ever again. Now get out.
Tina!
Get out!
I think she means it, Barry. Considering she went from Star Labs to a hole-in-the-wall clinic, you can't blame her for being a little indignant.
And all I know is that somehow I jumped 10 years into the future.
Yeah, that's the craziest story I've ever heard. You or anybody else.
What?
Keep walking, keep walking. Was it Pike's shadow man? It's the secret police. All right, we'll start on it.
I think Julio was about to say he believed him. If he knows Barry was the Flash, he has a pretty good reason to.
Eastern mystics believe life is a circle, and that everything must have a completion. I always knew that we would meet again. Barry.
That's his brain-frying machine. As soon as we heard about it, we knew Barry was going to end up in it.
All we need is somebody like the Flash to help get us started.
Oh, Julio, I can't help anyone. I'm not the Flash anymore. I've lost it.
I see.
Your friend Mendez has been under surveillance for quite some time.
Excuse me? They spotted him at Tina's, not Julio's. Pike had the good sense to watch both. For 10 years. I hope his watchers got regular pay raises for doing nothing. They start the machine.
Maximum power. Shut it off!
I think Barry shut it off for you.
Is he dead?
Stop him!
You first! He knocks out a guard and uses the guard's taser on Kelso.
How does it look from this angle, Pike?
You can't do this. I'm the man!
I say let's give you a dose of your own medicine.
Okay, Pike, out of the chair. He needs another jolt to finish this. Lawyer lady sounds an alarm, but it's too late. They got away.
How are you feeling?
Like somebody used me for a basketball.
Julio told me what happened.
Yeah, the electric shock. Must have recharged my metabolism for a few seconds. It didn't last.
Julio also told me why you disappeared. I guess I owe you an apology.
Even so, she doesn't want him complicating her life. She waited years for him to return and finally gave up. Now this. It's too much for her.
I need your help to become the Flash again. There must be something you can do.
While you were unconscious, I ran some tests. Your metabolism's in a very dangerous state. Any attempt to revive your powers could kill you.
And the alternative is living like this, knowing Pike still carries a grudge and is determined to destroy him? I think I'd rather die trying to find a way to stop all this than let that machine steal everything that I am.
The cops are down the street, headed this way.
You gotta get out of here.
You better come with us.
Come on.
This way. This way.
Where are we going?
Trust me.
Traditionally, the sewers, tunnels, and other open spaces under a city are a good place to hide. Here's hoping that principle is in operation today.
Welcome to the headquarters of the Liberation Underground.
Oh, by the way, Julio was a lot more involved with the resistance than he was letting on. Sabrina and the twins are there waiting for him.
Where are we? The old Devil's Gate Reservoir.
Pike's old hideout?
You'd never think of looking for us
Yeah,
here.
well, wait a minute. Why are all these people staring at us?
It's because they know you're the Flash.
Lieutenant Garfield.
Oh, good to see you, Barry. Or should I say,
The Flash? Huh? It was on the news this morning. According to the mayor, you're the same outlaw who caused Central City so much trouble 10 years ago.
He's going to discover that the Flash is a big deal down here.
What is this place? It's a museum. Memory of the Flash.
Where did all this stuff come from?
People been hoarding it over the years, telling stories, keeping the legend alive. Somebody even made the suit.
As I said, the Flash is more than a legend. He's their absent messiah that they firmly believe will return someday to deliver them from evil. And now he's back to take down Pike and restore justice. Their hopes have been realized.
Don't you recognize me? I'm Sean.
Sean? Hey. But you're all grown up.
Kids tend to do that over the course of 10 years. Why am I not surprised that he may not have known that?
Is it true? Are you really the Flash?
Well,
Are you gonna save Central City from Pike, like you did before?
Sean, I can't. I don't have the powers anymore.
And now the people's hopes have been dashed to pieces.
What is this?
Synthetic food. Real stuff is too expensive nowadays. Here, have a hamburger.
As long as there's a way he can take the pickles out of it, okay. While he's learning the joys of fake food, Sean has been gathering intel.
Garfield, I was just in the city. The word is out. Pike's gonna execute all the members of the underground that he has in police custody at noon tomorrow. Unless the Flash turns himself in.
What about a rescue attempt?
We don't have enough people. Or enough weapons. The police will tear us to ribbons.
Then I've got to turn myself in.
Oh, yeah. What makes you think Pike will keep his word? He'll execute the prisoners anyway.
It's a fair point. If he does turn himself in, he has to do it very carefully in a public place. All the prisoners are released first and allowed to slip away. As if Pike would ever go for that. Garfield is right. He likes maximum carnage with his victories. Tina has a different idea.
Barry's here because of an accident. A tear in the space-time continuum. Now, if he could get back through that tear, maybe he could keep all this from happening.
You mean go back in the past and stop Pike from taking over Central City in the first place?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Theoretically.
He got here, didn't he? There's no reason why he couldn't get back under the same kind of circumstances. There's just one problem. He has to be moving at super speed for it to work. The only way she has any chance of restoring his power is by breaking into Star Labs and accessing her old equipment. Well, shucks, is that all? Break into Pike's personal headquarters without getting gunned down? Piece of cake.
If they're still using the same old security system, I should be able to override it and get us all inside.
You can bet they are, because with the Flash out of the way, Pike wouldn't expect anybody to try something so brazen. For this to work, Barry needs one other item.
Someone once told me the Flash would be forgotten in a few years. I never thought he'd end up in a museum.
Now that he mentions it, what became of Nightshade in this world? I'm a little surprised he didn't come out of retirement, but maybe Jason Bernard was busy with another project. I think we can assume that Pike's goons confiscated his other suit, which raises the question. That suit is made from a special material that protects him from the hazards of moving through air so fast. Does this replica have that protection?
All those people out there waiting for me to save them. I don't know if I can be what they want me to be.
I believe in you.
They will eventually kiss, but we have to wait until right before he leaves for it to happen. He tried to tell her that she was a big reason he couldn't leave the city, but she didn't want to hear it. Now it doesn't matter, because if they do this right, none of this will ever have happened. Looks like Tina was right. We won't find out why she kept her door unlocker thing, but it's handy that she did.
This is an emergency. All personnel evacuate the building immediately. All personnel evacuate the building immediately.
Now, all I have to do is change the entrance code. That should keep them out for a while.
So she created the emergency warning and now she's locked them out. This is the Tina we know. Julio is dead. Barry is almost hysterical.
Barry, I'm sorry.
Leave me alone with him, all right?
I need your help in the lab. We haven't much time. Barry, if we don't stop Pike, Julio will have died for nothing.
She doesn't have the presence of mind to remind him that if this works, Julio won't have died at all. He needs to get off his duff and make sure none of this happens. I don't know why she didn't think to tell him that. Pike has just learned that his people can't get back inside. He'll come take charge personally.
I've synthesized the booster injection to accelerate your metabolism. It should last about 10 minutes. Your metabolism's so fragile, I don't know how you're going to react. Your body could literally tear itself to pieces.
Well, it's a little late to change my mind now, isn't it?
How do you feel? Oh, Barry!
He'll go through some "egad, that hurts" gyrations, but come on. We know it's time for the bounce back part of the story. I'm not sure why he was trying to suffocate Tina by sucking all the air away from her, but she seems okay in spite of it. He has the speed. Now we need a really big kaboom. Tina has an idea about that, too.
The lab is powered by a small underground reactor. If the atomic core melts down, Star Labs will turn into a miniature nuclear warhead.
That would destroy the lab and anyone inside.
If my theory proves correct, the space-time continuum will snap you back through the tear. You could get back before all this happened and change it all.
And if you're wrong, we'll both die.
I have news for you, Barry. Dying in an instant without even feeling it beats the daylights out of what Pike has in mind for both of you. A few keystrokes and the control rods have been removed from the reactor core. Now she couldn't stop it even if she wanted to. Good thing she doesn't want to.
You'll be able to bypass the access codes in 15 minutes.
Hey, bypass? The hell with that. Break it down.
It's 2-inch titanium. That'll take all night.
And blow it. But do it. Now.
You and your crew already blew it, Pike. Oppressors never win in the end. The people will find a way to depose them, even if it takes a century or more. He knows Barry is the Flash. He knows the Flash is the people's great hope. I think he also knows that when Barry escaped from him, it was the beginning of the end.
Reactor control rods have been withdrawn from reactor core. Reactor is in imminent danger of meltdown. The time to reinsert rods to avoid a meltdown will expire in 30 seconds.
Going to blow it up.
And even if his men do blow the door and get inside, there's no time to try and stop the meltdown. Does he have the good sense to pull everybody out and get a safe distance away? This is Pike. We don't even have to ask.
4, 3, 2, 1. Critical mass has been reached. Reactor will now explode in 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8,
someone like Pike and his collection of intellectuals would run toward an impending nuclear explosion. But it doesn't matter because Tina's idea worked.
Now let's see how fast you can really run.
And guess what, Pike? Now you have 2 flashes after you. My mistake, they're both in one body now, but they're both still furious with you.
You're the failure, Pike. Again.
He has all 3 of them on terrorism charges to start with, but he's not done.
Now tell me about the murder of J. Allen.
Go to hell!
I've got a better idea. We'll both go. I changed the launch frequency and homing signal. Your missile is headed straight for this van. Unless I redirect it, we all go.
You'll die too.
I don't think he's bluffing.
You've got 20 seconds.
Pike forgot that the Flash can get out of there in an instant. He's not about to die with them. I think Monica and Kelso realize that, but there's no time to explain it to Pike.
Want me to say I killed J. Allen? I killed him!
Not good enough. Gore's confession is worth nothing.
And what is it you want?
Police never found the weapon you used to murder J. Allen. Where is it? You've got 10 seconds. 9 seconds.
Tell him! Oh, shut up!
Tell him!
All right, I dropped it down the main train at the reservoir just inside the gate.
The Flash quickly redirects the missile into the hillside, and that's that. Pike City will never exist, and Julio will never be shot.
Hey, Sakai, how you doing? How you doing, Earl? Oh, yeah. What?
There you are, you mangy hairball.
Julio.
Man, I've been looking for this guy all over Central City. He ran away from me this morning. What are you doing back?
I decided not to go.
Yeah, I figured you'd change your mind. Welcome back.
Oh, man, it is good to see you.
Hey.
Maybe someday Barry will explain it to him. Julio would prefer if he hugged Earl, but he already did that.
So, it would appear that I owe a big apology to a certain mystery man whom I suggested might be the real culprit in this crime. Now, when this reporter makes a mistake, he's big enough to admit it. So here's a personal message from yours truly to the Scarlet Speedster. Whoever you are, Mr. Flash, this is Joe Klein saying, sorry, babe.
He had to look the word up because he had never said it before. And even with a dictionary in hand, he had to have a 10-year-old explain it to him. Hello?
Barry, you never explained to me why you changed your mind about leaving Central City.
Well, sometimes things happen, you know, and suddenly you see the world very differently. And you realize that what you have is more valuable than you thought.
I have to wonder if he's remembering that kiss. More likely he's remembering all of it and trembling a little inside. I hope you see what I meant about Julio carrying the episode. Barry was bland and confused as usual, and I frankly didn't buy Tina's sudden change of heart. 10 years of that kind of animosity doesn't vanish after a few words of explanation. Even when you know the story, it takes time to make things simmer down. Julio, on the other hand, kept hope alive when he realized Barry was the Flash. And when Barry returned, he was right there at his side. Julio was the linchpin of the whole thing. Without him, Barry would have been arrested and executed. He never would have contacted the underground, seen Sean or Garfield or the suit or any of it. And the way Alex Desert played the role had me literally sitting up and cheering for him. He's been the leg of our triangle that's steady, clear-headed, and always has Barry's back in the lab. It's about time he got the chance to shine on his own, and boy did he. This performance makes me want to check out other things he's been in. He's been a character actor for ages, and most recently he's doing voice work on The Simpsons. It's not his first voice gig. He was Nick Fury in the animated series Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He's done it all and continues to. Oh yes, he also sings. Besides all the acting, he's the frontman for a prominent LA band called Hepcat and the Lions. All that aside, he made the episode for me. When I saw we were doing time travel, I face-palmed a little. But watching him in action made it enjoyable. Now, if he can teach Barry to be a little more manly...
Barry.
Huh, what?
Somebody might be looking.
Hey friends, I hope you're enjoying my look at The Flash. If you like it, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. If you really like it, consider becoming a patron. $2 a month gets you extra content like Hogan's Heroes and It's About Time. $5 a month gets you that and more, so take a look. The link is down there in the description. I also do lots of other stuff, so take a moment to look it over. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Wants to get even with the Flash. Get even? Yeah, if he knows Barry is... Why am I surprised that he made... What, Pike? Julio?